If there's one thing trophy hunters never have enough of, it's time. Between work, family, and everything else life throws at us, free time is limited. But that platinum count, that still needs to go up. So if you're short on time but still want to add some respectable platinums to your collection, here are 10 games you can platinum in under 10 hours. And before we go any further, no shovelware, no visual novels, no easy autopilot Telltale style platinums. These are full-on games, fun games, quick, efficient, satisfying platinums. In no particular order, number 1, Super Meat Boy. Relax, I'm kidding. Number 1, Bright Memory Infinite. If you enjoy first-person shooters for their gameplay and not their story, then this will suit you down to the ground. What it lacks in story substance, it more than makes up for in gameplay. You play as a female agent sent to an island where an anomaly shows up, and while navigating the island, you take on an evil company, their soldiers, as well as some time-traveling animated statues. The gameplay is where this shines, boost sliding, double jumping with a samurai sword, along with what I first thought was too small of a selection of weapons, but turns out works out in its favour, giving you the ability to combine weapons, switching them, and movement, all to dominate every level. The trophies are pretty straightforward, as you need to complete it on each difficulty, unlocking the hardest after completing the second hardest difficulty, but you only have to then replay the last mission, not the whole game. The rest are story related and eliminations with different weapons. It can be completed in around 8 hours and is a blast from start to finish. What Lies in the Multiverse is a side-scrolling 16-bit game where you play as a boy who breaks the multiverse, and along with some dude in a weird hat and beard, you go through the worlds fixing what you broke. The mechanic in solving the puzzles for this and the platforms is by using a machine to flip from one world to another in the multiverse, with them being very different to each other. The story, while I found it was just okay, it touches on grief, responsibility, fixing your actions. The trophies are straightforward. There is one missable, but it's barely missable. You have to do both QTs in the game. With missing them, you need to do it over again, but they're pretty hard to miss if you're paying attention. This one takes around 8 or 9 hours to complete. Now, if you're a fan of old-school point-and-click puzzle games like Escape from Monkey Island or Discworld, Deponia is your cup of tea. Set in a world where the rich live in the sky and the poor live in a scrap-pile city called Deponia, you play as Rufus, who wants to find his way out of Deponia to that wealthy land. His plan goes awry when he meets and falls in love with a girl called Goal, who is from the rich place, forcing him to help her return and uncovering a plot to sort of destroy your world. It's only 4 or 5 hours if you follow a guide. If you don't, and depending on your puzzle solving skills, you could be getting up to that upper part of the 10 hours. Now this one, I was not sure I was going to put on, mainly because it's the one I had the least fun with. But I think it was just PTSD from playing Hello Neighbor. The platinum is very similar to that. It's a first-person hide-and-seek style game where you go around the Goosebumps house trying to stop the Walmart jigsaw from releasing all of the monsters from the book. The trophy list is super easy. Complete each level and get caught by every single monster available, and the trophy is yours. Fall of the Sea is a 1930s first-person narrative puzzle game where you play as Nora, a woman searching for her husband, on a surreal, beautiful South Pacific island. Following him, she uncovers clues about his expedition, a lost civilization, and a potential cure to her own mysterious fatal illness. And what starts for a search for her husband soon turns into a revelation about who or what Nora truly is. Trophy list for this is simple. Complete the game, complete the collectibles. Thankfully, if you miss any of the collectibles, you can go back with chapter select. All in all, you're looking at maybe 3 or 4 hours for the platinum run, depending on the collectibles. Nobody Wants to Die is what you get when cyberpunk and a 1930s detective noir movie had a baby. If you ever watched Altered Carbon series, the premise is familiar. It's gotten to the point where you can't die if you can afford it. You move your consciousness into another body. In the game, you play as a detective who's been tasked with solving a high-profile murder, and this time there's no coming back for the victim. You unravel a web of deceit and some massive cover-ups. This is one I would highly suggest you using a guide for to keep it under that 5-hour mark, but similar to Deponia, you're closer to the 10-hour mark playing it blind and going through cleaning up the rest of the trophies. The Artful Escape follows Francis Vendetti, a teenage guitar prodigy in Colorado, struggling to live in the immense shadow of his late legendary music artist singing uncle. On the eve of his first performance, he embarks on a psychedelic, intergalactic journey to define his own musical persona, escaping through a cosmic musical exploration. The soundtrack is one of the best soundtracks I've ever played in a game, and the majority of the trophies are all story related, with 3 or 4 level specific ones. Chapter select though makes them a breeze. If you can complete this in 4 hours, and you will be bopping your head from minute 1 to hour 4. Now we're going back with a classic for fans of the PS3. Terminator Salvation is a game that acts as a prequel to the 2009 film. Set in 2016 Los Angeles, you play as John Connor, leading a small resistance. This is a game from a time where, if there was a movie released, you would be certain some sort of tie-in game with a random storyline would be released. Think of it as the PS3 era's version of shovelware. On the plus side to this, the trophies are normally as straightforward as they can be, and Terminator Salvation is no different. Complete the game on the hardest difficulty, and hard really isn't that hard, and the story can be completed in about 5 or 6 hours. Sly Raccoon follows the master thief raccoon named Sly Cooper, who seeks to recover his family's stolen thief book called the Thievius Raccoonus from a rival group known as the Fiendish Five. Sly navigates stealth-based platforming levels to regain his ancestors' techniques. Now, whether you play it on the original remaster of the PS3, as it was originally a PS2 game, or now on the PlayStation Plus catalog, the PS5 version, this is a prime example of PlayStation's heyday of mascot platformers. The trophy is like a lot of these games. The majority are story related, and then there's some level specific ones like do X thing on X level. This is a little on the longer side and takes about that full 10-hour limit that we set. Blackwood Crossing is a story-driven first-person adventure game focusing on a strained relationship between 2 orphan siblings. After waking up on a moving train going to work After waking up on a moving train, they embark on a surreal journey exploring themes of love, loss, the pain of growing apart, grief. The imagination brings to life the train and adds some beautiful scenery to it, as well as some freaky images. This is about 2.5 hours long and just requires you to play through the story. Honestly, this is a prime example of how amazing indie titles can be, and was the main reason I started playing more of these titles. I was thoroughly surprised at how emotive and enjoyable it could be all at once. And for an honorable mention, this game will probably make its way into nearly every one of my videos. I enjoy it that much. Thank goodness You're Here is a game that only takes maybe 2 hours to complete, maybe 4 for the platinum if you do like a blind run first, which is what I suggest. I won't say too much on it because I have put it in other videos, but this will always be a recommendation for platinums. The fact it's as quick and easy as it is just a happy coincidence. And there we have it, 10 platinum trophies that you can obtain under 10 hours that won't eat up your... And there we have it, 10 platinums that won't eat up your month. Let me know if you got any of these down below. Have you got any suggestions for games under 10 hours? If you have, drop a comment and we maybe drop them in the next video. And until next time, we'll catch you on the next ping.